Hello?
The reaction line is an important link between Channel 11 and our viewers. Help us make future programming and production decisions by calling the reaction line now. If the line is busy, please keep trying. We'd really like to hear your comments.
First NH Banks, in association with New Hampshire Public Television, offers 5 exclusive pictorial histories compiled by respected University of New Hampshire historians. Each hardcover coffee table edition highlights a different region of the Granite State. The Western region, the White Mountains, the Merrimack Valley, the Seacoast, and the Lakes region are beautifully illustrated volumes, each with more than 300 charming and nostalgic photos. Reserve any single volume for $35, all 5 books for $150, or receive any single volume free by joining Channel 11 as a new $120 member, or by increasing your present Channel 11 membership to $120 or more. To become a member and receive a single volume or to order the entire set, contact New Hampshire Histories, Channel 11, Box 1100, Durham, New Hampshire, 03824.
If you were suddenly faced with a disability, would you know where to turn to for help? State government serves all of its citizens, the able-bodied and the disabled. On the next New Hampshire's agenda, legislation aimed to better serve those in need. Then,
well, what's going to happen with the availability of daycare?
What do they plan on doing about the AIDS epidemic?
if you have a concern, voice it in a live New Hampshire Public Television forum. Call Congressman Douglas.
Join us Monday night for New Hampshire's agenda at 7:30, and then call Congressman Douglas at 8.
President Bush is coming to New Hampshire. Join us for a half-hour special presentation, a presidential visit.
That's Monday at 9.
You are watching viewer-supported New Hampshire Public Television.
When King Claudius realized that Hamlet was mentally distracted, he sent two of Hamlet's former schoolboy friends, Ross of Winnisquam.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
You got them both absolutely right for 10 points. Janet.
Plantagenet, Lancaster, York, Tudor, and Stuart.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right for 10 points. The heaviest of the halogens. This radioactive, we have William of Exeter. Say again.
Astatine.
Astatine. Judges? What relationship were Goneril and Regan to each other? Cheryl of Memorial.
Sisters?
They were sisters for 10 points, correct. Granite State Super Challenge champions, Winnisquam Regional High School.
Channel 11 presents Granite State Challenge. Made possible in part by grants from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Hampshire, ensuring more people in the Granite State. This is no time to be without Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The New Hampshire Sweepstakes Commission, a proud supporter of education in New Hampshire. An anonymous New Hampshire resident. And Digital Equipment Corporation, where we believe a commitment to education is an investment in the future, everyone's future. Featured this week, Hillsboro-Deering High School and Alvirne High School.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Janot, and again, welcome to another edition of the Granite State Challenge. Well, here we are right in the middle of our second round of competition. 3 schools have already qualified for our quarterfinals. 2 more schools to do battle this evening. The winner to move on against last week's winners from Hanover High School in the quarterfinals. Let's show you where our 2 teams are from for tonight's game. First of all, we have the Broncos of Alvirne High School from the town of Hudson in the southern portion of the state. And we have the Hillcats of Hillsboro-Deering High School from the town of Hillsboro in the southwestern portion of the Granite State. Those are the 2 schools playing tonight. Now, let's meet the players. First of all, the Broncos of Alvirne High School.
Hi, I'm Scott Greenbaum, and I'm a senior.
I'm Preston Farner, and I'm a senior.
I'm Mark Masterson, and I'm a senior.
My name is Tom Grimm, and I'm a senior.
And with us also for tonight's program is the coach of the team, Peggy Lavoie, and the alternates are Marshall Murray and Max Chuford. They are the Broncos of Alvirne High School. Now let's meet their opponents for tonight's second round game, the Hillcats of Hillsboro-Deering High School.
Hi, I'm John Singh, and I'm a senior.
I'm Daphne Wells, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, I'm Colin Yeager, and I'm a junior.
I'm Grant Bossy, and I'm a junior.
And with us also for tonight's program, the coaches of the team, William Cahill and Howard Levin, and the alternates are Shay Curran and Danielle Pelletier, the Hillcats of Hillsboro-Deering High School. So here we go. As we said, Hanover was a winner last week. The winner of tonight's game will take on Hanover in an up-and-coming quarterfinal round game. So Hillsboro-Deering, Alvirne, good luck. And here we go. For 10 points, for which modern-day country is Gaul, the ancient name? We have Preston of Alvirne.
France.
France is correct for 10 points. All right, another 10-point toss-up question. In the 1780s, a boy named Sam Wilson lived on a farm near Mason, New Hampshire. At the age of 21, Wilson moved to Troy, New York, where he eventually established a meatpacking business. Tom of Alvirne.
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam he became. Absolutely right for 10 points. Another 10-pointer. He established his own astronomical observatory in Arizona about 1894 and conducted extensive studies of planet Mars. He claimed it was netted with a multitude of long, straight canals and that he had mapped over 500 of them. They do not exist, as the latest space probes proved. Yet he made valuable contributions in other areas of astronomy. Who was he? Percival Lowell for 10 points. In 1948, a group of dissenting Democrats split away from the party. Tom of Alvirne.
Dixiecrats.
They were Dixiecrats. That's absolutely right for 10 points. All right, you may want to take notes on this if you would like. Give me the sequence in which Napoleon lived on these islands. Elba, Corsica, St. Helena. Tom of Alvirne.
Corsica, Elba, St. Helena.
1, 2, 3 in order is absolutely right. Homer wrote the Iliad. Who wrote the Aeneid? We have Preston of Alvirne.
Virgil.
Virgil is correct for another 10. All right, still in round number 1. For 10 points, name 2 countries that face each other across the Adriatic Sea. Preston of Alvirne.
Yugoslavia and Italy.
That is absolutely correct. Here we go for 10 points. Now we need 3 answers needed for the 10 points. 3 answers needed. Only 4 presidents of the United States never held any other elective office. Identify any 3 of them. They were Grant, Taft, Hoover, and Eisenhower. For 10 points. Who wrote historical plays about English monarchs such as, we have Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
William Shakespeare?
Shakespeare did on Henry IV, Henry V, and Richard III. Okay, Hillcats, you're on the board, and here we go for 10 points. A Greek geographer and astronomer of the 3rd century BC knew that the Earth was round and actually measured its circumference. He invented a device for finding prime numbers called a sieve. Who was he? Eratosthenes for 10 points. Prior to World War I, what nations made up the Triple Entente? Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
Britain, France, and the Soviet Union.
Absolutely right for 10 points. In the body cells of every member of a given species of higher organism, the cell nucleus contains a particular number of pairs of chromosomes. How many pair? We have Tom of Alvirne.
23.
In the Homo sapiens, correct. 23 is right. All right, 3 answers needed to earn the 10 points. A person living in the United States is likely to have a tax imposed on him by 3 separate authorities. We have Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
Federal, state, and local.
Absolutely right. The 3 authorities are federal, state, and local government. Nicely paced first-round teams. Here we go. Marc Chagall created the decor for a landmark production of a Mozart opera in the Metropolitan Opera House. Name the opera. Tom of Alvirne.
Magic Flute.
The Magic Flute is correct. For 10 points. In which sea in the Mediterranean area is the Gulf of Salonika an arm? Preston of Alvirne.
The Aegean Sea?
Yes, sir. The Aegean Sea is right. For 10 points. In 1853, Commodore Matthew C. Perry used a fleet of warships to persuade a reluctant foreign country to open its territory. Mark of Alvirne.
China.
I can repeat it all for Hillsboro-Deering. In 1853, Commodore Matthew Perry used a fleet of warships to persuade a reluctant foreign country to open its territory to international trade. For 10 points, name that country. No talk. Grant?
Spain?
It was Japan. Japan. For 10 points. The American poet Carl Sandburg wrote a poem that begins, hog butcher for the world, tool maker, stacker of wheat, player with railroads and the nation's freight handler, stormy, husky, brawling city of the big shoulders. For 10 points, what city was Sandburg describing? Tom of Alvirne.
Chicago.
Absolutely right, Chicago. Your kind of town, absolutely. Here we go for 10 points. What word denotes both a rocket scaffold or a Sinclair Lewis title character? Sorry, the buzzer beat. It's gantry. Gantry. Another 10-pointer still in round number 1. What part of the body is inflamed in otitis media? Tom of Alvirne.
The ear.
Judges, the ear. Hillsboro-Deering. Grant.
The inner ear.
The inner ear is correct for 10 points. They have to be specific, and that is correct. All right, for another 10-pointer. If you met a mendicant on the main street of a busy city, what would he, Preston of Alvirne?
He'd be asking for money.
Asking for money, judges? He would be begging. Absolutely right for 10 points. All right, another 10-pointer on the line here. In what war was the Battle of Buena Vista fought? Tom of Alvirne.
Spanish-American War.
Hillsboro-Deering. Grant.
Civil War.
It was the Mexican War. The Mexican War. And there's our whistle ending our first round. A good first round of play with Alvirne on top after the first round by a score of 110-40. Okay, we head right into our second round. Now, we still have 10-point toss-up questions, but now the round becomes very valuable because the team that identifies the toss-up correctly has a chance at bonus points. So it's a good time to come back. Hillsboro, Alvirne, you have the lead. Here we go for 10 points. On what mountain was Moses when God gave him the 10 Commandments, Tom of Alvirne?
Sinai.
Mount Sinai is correct for your 10 points. Okay, Broncos, we come over to you and we tell you your categories are literature, sports, or general.
Sports.
Sports it'll be. Talk among yourself. Captain Tom gives me your team answers. Identify each of the following. The country in which the 1986 World Cup Soccer Championship was played.
Italy.
It was Mexico. The team which won that 1986 World Cup Soccer Championship.
Brazil.
Argentina. And the country in which the 1987 Rams played the Broncos in NFL football.
United States.
United States.
It was in Britain, the first NFL game in Britain. Well, it was what was supposed to be an easy sports round. Here we go for a 10-point toss-up. She was 17 and he was but 22 when he abandoned his marriage for her. His first wife would later commit suicide. He would die by drowning at the age of 30, and she would devote her life to bringing recognition to his poetry. Who were they? Mark of Alvirne.
The Brownings.
Hillsboro-Deering. They were the Shelleys, Mary and Percy Shelley, for 10 points. In Beethoven's Fidelio, she was the wife of Florestan, a captive in a Spanish prison. Under disguise, she assumes the character of Fidelio to infiltrate her husband's prison. Name this heroine. Leonora. Leonora, another 10-pointer. Who was the first female driver to compete in the NASCAR Grand National Racing? Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
Shirley Madani.
Good try. Alvirne. Her name was Janet Guthrie. Janet Guthrie. We go with another 10-pointer. Leander's lover died in a storm while attempting to swim across the Hellespont. What was his name? hero. Hero. We're going to get one that you like here in a minute, teams. Here we go for 10 points. Absorption lines are the dark lines in the spectrum of a star. The absorption lines in the spectrum of the sun are called what? Go ahead, Tom of Alvirne.
Sunspots.
Hillsboro-Deering. Grant.
Solar flares.
Fraunhofer's lines. Fraunhofer's lines. Here we go for 10 points. The main task of this federal agency is to regulate the money supply. What is the name, Grant, of Hillsboro-Deering?
The Treasury.
Can you repeat? No, won't. Tom of Alvirne?
Federal Reserve Board.
Federal Reserve Board is right. Well, I knew we'd get one that somebody likes. Here we go. Literature, general, or math?
Literature. Math.
Literature.
Let's have a fight. We're going with literature because Captain Tom told me to. All right, identify each of the following fathers. The father of English poetry and author of the Canterbury Tales.
Chaucer.
Correct for 5 points. The father of angling and author of The Complete Angler.
William something.
Moore.
It was Walton. And the father of history and author of 9 books on the Persian Empire.
Democritus?
It was Herodotus. Herodotus. 5 out of 15 on their bonus. All right, here we go for 10 points, teams. Pork is the name we give to the meat of pigs. From what animal does the meat we call venison come? Tom of Alvirne.
Deer.
Deer is absolutely right. Okay, Broncos, we're going to come back with general, math, or social studies.
Math.
Math.
All right, we'll go with the math, and you can talk among yourself. In each of the following pair, select the geometric figure with the greater area. In a square, I'll try again. A square of side 2 centimeters or an equilateral triangle of side 2 centimeters.
Square.
That is correct. A square of side 2 centimeters or a circle of radius 2 centimeters.
Circle.
Correct for 5 points. A regular hexagon of side 2 centimeters or a right triangle with legs of 4 centimeters and 5 centimeters.
Go with the hexagon.
Hexagon.
We'll go with hexagon for 15 out of 15 on the bonus. All right, and we have another 10-point toss-up question. What period of the church year begins on Ash Wednesday and ends on Easter Sunday? Preston of Alvirne.
Lent.
Lent is absolutely right for the 10. All right, back to you guys. General, social studies, or literature?
Social studies.
General.
General. Identify each of the following. The bluish coloration of the skin caused by a lack of oxygen in the blood is called what?
No idea.
Deoxygenation.
Cyanosis. The color of magenta is what?
Red and purple mix.
Red and purple mix.
Correct. The country in which magenta, site of an 1859 battle, is located?
1859? We're talking France.
France.
We're talking Italy. 5 out of the 15 on the bonus. Okay, here we go with a 10-point toss-up. No, we're not. There's our whistle ending our round, and Alvirne has opened up a lead after 2 rounds of play by a score of 170 to 40 after our second round. Okay, just before we head into our third round, which is our 60-second round, let's take a time out to introduce you to our judges for tonight's game. They are Betty Kimball and Jeff King. Betty is a retired technical writer and a book editor, and Jeff is an independent researcher. Betty Kimball and Jeff King, they are our judges tonight. Okay, we go to our third round, which is our 60-second round. Each team is going to have a chance to identify 10 answers, 10 questions in 60 seconds or less. 10 points for every correct answer. If they get all 10, they get a bonus of 10 points, or a maximum of 110 points on the line. And with Hillsboro-Deering trailing, you get the first opportunity at the categories which are history, numbers, or early TV trivia.
Numbers.
All right, we'll go with numbers. Again, you can talk among yourself. Captain Grant gives me your team answers, and you give me these numbers and start the clock. How large is a googol?
1 with 100 zeros after.
That is correct. How many meters are there in a kilometer?
1,000.
Correct. What temperature is absolute 0 Celsius?
Yeah.
26.
That's right. 273. It's 273.
Negative 273 degrees.
That is correct. How many atoms make a water molecule?
3.
Correct. A cow has how many stomachs?
4.
4.
Correct. The Tropic of Cancer is what degree north latitude?
22.5.
23.3.
Judges, consider that. Supersonic sound is about how many cycles per second?
1,000.
18,000. What is considered minimum score for the genius category?
145.
145.
Judges, consider how many miles per second does light travel?
186,000.
186,000.
That is correct. How many corners are there on a cube?
8.
Correct. And now we'll see what the judges give to you as they'll take a look and give a couple considerations to 2 of the answers you gave. And then we will have a total number of what you have on your 60-second round. So we will look at the judges, give them their time, and we'll say, your time is up, judges. They're going to get 8 out of 10 on their 60-second round. Well done. Okay. Nicely done, Hillsboro-Deering. Alvirne, we come to you and we tell you your categories: history or early TV trivia.
History.
We'll go with history, and we'll just say simply, talk among yourself. Tom, give me your team answers. Start the clock. What is the minimum age requirement for U.S. president?
35.
Correct. In 1837, the United States was swept by what epidemic?
Flu.
Smallpox. What political party did George Washington belong to?
None.
None.
Say none.
Correct. What does VJ Day celebrate?
Victory in Japan.
Correct. How many red stripes on the U.S. flag?
6.
7. Which soldiers in U.S. history were called lobsters?
The British soldiers.
British.
Correct. What was found at John Sutter's place?
Gold.
Correct. What famous musician was Satchmo?
Louis Armstrong.
Correct. Where is the Shenandoah Valley?
North Carolina.
In Virginia. New York Tribune founder who told everybody to go west?
Horace Greeley.
Correct. And we'll get the call on the judges as they have gone through their 10. They get 7 out of 10 on their 60-second round. Well done, Alvirne. And that'll bring us to the end of our 3rd round, and there you see our score, 245 to 120, as we now head into the home stretch. Hillsboro-Deering, Alvirne, no more talking the rest of the way. We are back to 10-point toss-up questions. Good luck, and here we go. For 10 points, this woman was born in Holland, married a Scotsman, billed herself as an Oriental temple dancer, was known to the Germans during World War I as age 21, and was killed by the French. We have Tom of Alvirne.
Mata Hari.
Mata Hari is who we're looking for. Another 10-point toss-up question. Thomas Gustav Plant retired in his 50s, having amassed a fortune of more than $20 million in the shoe industry. He built a $7 million retirement home here in New Hampshire, which he called Lucknow. Today, it's a major tourist attraction in the lake. We have John of Hillsboro-Deering.
Castle in the Clouds.
It is indeed the Castle in the Clouds for 10 points. Another 10-pointer. It is a long, thin, graduated glass tube used by chemists in volumetric analysis. We have Preston of Alvirne.
Graduated cylinder.
We can repeat it all for Hillsboro-Deering. It is a long, thin, graduated glass tube used by chemists in volumetric analysis or titration. And the average one holds about 50 milliliters. What is it called? Grant.
Pipette.
It is a burette. A burette for 10 points. In which of Shakespeare's plays do we find Mercutio? Mark of Alvirne.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet is correct. Another 10-point toss-up question. Plans for St. Peter's, a statue of Moses, the Pietà, and the tomb of Julius II were all designed. We have Mark of Alvirne.
Michelangelo.
By Michelangelo, this Italian Renaissance artist. For 10 points, name the developer of the first successful punch card data processing system in about 1886. Mark of Alvirne.
Lovelace.
Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
Edison.
It was Herman Hollerith. Herman Hollerith. Just under 4 minutes to play, teams. For 10 points, what is the 2-letter postal abbreviation for the state of Washington? Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
WA.
WA is right for your 10 points. Okay, very quickly now, teams. Who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Army-Navy? Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
President Ronald Reagan.
President is all we're looking for. First word out of your mouth, and you get it for another 10 points. That's correct. For 10 points again, teams. The Eastern Orthodox Church divided from the Roman Catholic Church in AD 1054. When the Protestant Reformation started in 1517, who was its leader? Preston of Alvirne.
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther is absolutely right. Just under 3 minutes, teams. Waiting for Godot is the title of the best-known work of what playwright? Mark of Alvirne.
Samuel Beckett.
Samuel Beckett is correct for another 10 points for the Broncos. For 10 points, New Hampshire entered the Union on June 21st, 1788. Was it second, fifth, Grant of Hillsboro-Deering?
Ninth.
Or ninth in the order of joining? It was ninth indeed for another 10 points, Grant and Hillsboro-Deering. In 1860 and 1861, daring riders of the Pony Express carried U.S. mail between St. Joseph, Missouri, and this post on the West End. John Sutter, Jr. founded this city after thousands of fortune seekers moved to the area looking for gold. Tom of Alvirne?
Sacramento.
Sacramento, California is absolutely right. Of what state were both FDR and Teddy Roosevelt, Tom of Alvirne?
New York.
Governors, right, for another 10 points, just under 3 minutes to play. I checked that, under 2 minutes to play. What is the definition of the figure of speech to tilt at windmills? Preston of Alvirne.
Idiom.
Hillsboro-Deering. Means to fight imaginary enemies, for 10 points. Digital computers are based on Boolean logic, which allows problems to be solved by reducing them to a series of questions requiring only an answer of true or false. Just 3 logical functions are needed to process bools, trues, and falses. Give me these, Preston of Alvirne.
And or not.
You got them. And or not. All right, complete this quotation from Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. Some are born great, some achieve greatness.
Some have greatness thrust upon them.
Grant of Hillsboro-Deering got it absolutely right. Absolutely for 10 points. All right, we have just under a minute to play. Which planet has an axis inclination of 25 degrees? Preston of Alvirne.
Venus.
Repeat it for Hillsboro-Deering. Which planet has an axis inclination of 25 degrees, a rotational period of 24 hours, 37 minutes? Grant?
The Earth.
It is Mars. It is Mars for 10 points. He reasoned that since static electricity discharges were attracted to sharp points, Grant of Hillsboro-Deering.
Ben Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin said lightning also might be. That is correct. 410, which country administers Christmas Island? Tom of Alvirne.
Greece.
Hillsboro-Deering. Grant.
Great Britain.
It is Australia. Australia, another 10-pointer. Of the numbers 34, 35, and 36, which one cannot be written as the product of 2 prime numbers? Preston of Alvirne.
36.
36 is correct for 10 points, and there's our whistle ending our game. And it will be Alvirne, the Broncos, moving on into the quarterfinals with a final score tonight of 335 to 180 over Hillsboro-Deering. Our congratulations going to Alvirne, the Broncos. That's your second win. You'll move on against Hanover High School in a quarterfinal coming up a little bit later on this winter. Hillsboro-Deering, congratulations for your first win of the season and a good game tonight. Now, next week we have another second-round competition. This one will pit the Blackbirds of Keene High School against the Spartans of White Mountains Regional High School. Until that time, I'm Jim Janot. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and good night.
New Hampshire Journal is coming up next, so stay with us. Tune in Monday night at 9 and find out what President Bush has to say to the Business and Industry Association of New Hampshire. That's a presidential visit, Monday at 9 on Channel 11.
Granite State Challenge has been made possible by grants from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Hampshire, ensuring more people in the Granite State. This is no time to be without Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The New Hampshire Sweepstakes Commission, a proud supporter of education in New Hampshire. An anonymous New Hampshire resident. And Digital Equipment Corporation, where we believe a commitment to education is an investment in the future, everyone's future.
President Bush is coming to New Hampshire. Join us for a half-hour special presentation.